Hi everyone, I'm Candace. I'm so glad you're here because I know that when you're here, that means we get to talk about family minimalism, and that is like literally one of my most favorite things to talk about. One of the challenges though that I have noticed about family minimalism, especially if you have little kids in your home, like young kids in your home, they are not going to be able to say to you, Mom, Dad, grown up, we have too much stuff and I would really benefit from living a minimalist lifestyle. Like that has never happened, right? And so part of the job as the grown-up in the situation is to know what signs to look for to see like, oh, my kids need me to do this, or my kids' experience of our home is changing as we minimize the stuff in our home. So I want to share with you I think I just have three signs that I've experienced as a parent going through this minimalist journey of how I knew like my kids either needed this or were benefiting from a minimalist lifestyle. Before we do that though, if we haven't met before, hi, I'm Candace. My husband Abdel and I have 3 kids, a 9.5-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. We have kind of been on this minimalist journey for a number of years, honestly, but for a long time, it was real loose and not really committed. Probably within the past 4 or 5 months, that's when we decided to like really take this seriously and really just kind of reflect on what has this experience meant for us as a family. Here are 3 signs that I saw that let me know that a minimalist lifestyle was the right way to go. When I would find them kind of caught up in moments of indecisiveness, overwhelming indecisiveness. Maybe you've experienced this where you tell your kids, okay, time to go get dressed, and 5 minutes later you find them in their room just staring at the closet, just overwhelmed by the number of possibilities in front of them. Or they say they're going to go play with their toys, and then a little while later you go to check on them and they're like just standing in the middle of it and not playing with anything but just surrounded by stuff. That's a really good sign that the overwhelming amount of possibility is just debilitating maybe and just keeps the kids from moving forward in the ways that they want to. When my kids were losing stuff that they cared about. So for an example, my kids are really into art projects and doing art, but for a long time, Mom, where's my scissors? Mom, where's my glue stick? Mom, where's the construction paper? All this stuff that they actually really care about and actually really enjoy using, they couldn't keep track of it. And that was a good sign to me that there was just too much stuff and that it was almost unfair of me to ask them to manage the stuff they care about when it was surrounded by so much stuff that they did not care about. The last sign that I'll share today is when I saw my kids not being able to put their stuff away. And of course there are other reasons that kids might not put stuff away, but when it became kind of a chronic issue, like it just kept happening, I finally really reflected on what I was asking them to do. And the truth is that sometimes I was asking them to do something that as a grown-up would be really hard. It is really hard for me to manage and maneuver my closet and my wardrobe when it is stuffed full of things. And so then I don't want to interact with it, right? I just throw my clothes in there and close the door. And so it's not a surprise that I would find my kids doing the same thing. And I realized that they were just repeatedly not putting stuff away. Then I realized that they really needed help. There was too much stuff and they would really benefit from a minimalist lifestyle. Those 3 things can happen for lots of different reasons, but one important context for this for me is based in a conversation we had before where we talked about minimalism with kids. And if you weren't there, that's cool. I will link it in the description box. One of the big points in there for me was the reminder that me and my kids are on the same team, right? So for me and my kids, what we want, right? We want a home that works for us. We want a home that we can be ourselves in. We want a home where we can do the things that we like to do. And we want a home where we feel like the stuff we care about is taken care of. And the challenge is that we might not all know how to do that. We might not all do that in the same way, but we are united in the fact that we all want those things. And so when I see that my kids are just stuck in an inability to make a decision, or they can't find the things that they care about, or they're losing things that they like, or they're putting things away in a way that's like, oh, you're not really doing that thoughtfully. But I keep in mind that they do want the same things that I want. then I can start to understand like, oh, this is not like being a troublemaker, or this is not trying to cause a fight. This is someone who is trying to figure out how to make this home work for them in the context of like too much stuff. And when you see that you have too much stuff, the best solution, in my opinion, is to release some of this stuff and let it go. So, you know, over the past few years, we have been doing that, getting rid of a lot of stuff. And these three kind of signs of the need for minimalism, I have seen them go down. And so I'm like feeling really good about that. I would be curious to know, do you see any of these signs in your home? Or do you see other signs that maybe I could also be looking out for? If you do, leave it down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you and kind of continue on this conversation down there. In the meantime though, let's plan to meet here again soon so we can continue to talk about family minimalism and simplifying and all that really cool stuff, all right? Take care, bye.